What up, nerds? Welcome to Bujo Head Jody. As you can see here, I have been bullet journaling for a very long time. But I'd like to show you September 2020. I know I'm a little late posting this. Bear with me. It's my first time. I am in an Archer and Olive notebook this year, and this notebook does contain all of 2020. I like to keep 1 year per notebook, and I am running out of pages. So as you can see here, I have labeled that this is September. I don't have a lot of room left. So I have very judiciously marked out my places for each month. I'm gonna get it in. This month we're doing a nautical theme. So we got some browns and grays and blues and yellow. Really enjoyed it. I actually was surprised at how much I liked this theme. I've had a couple months, but this year I really did enjoy. So let's get started. And magically, I have penciled everything in, as you can see here. A little movie magic for you. You're gonna see a lot of erasing in this video. It's gonna be very exciting. You're gonna love it. So I like to look up different fonts and try different things. I'm not super fancy with my lettering. I don't do brush lettering. And my illustrations are very much either doodles or some sort of geometric pattern. But I like color and I like being creative. It's really soothing. It's part of the bullet journal for me. And I really enjoy that aspect of it. As you can see, it's a pretty normal font. It's got some fun E's. The B's and the R's are very rounded. I don't always keep it up all the way through. I think I mess up on a Friday later on. So right now, my spacing on this month is just so off because I've got some fun drop shadows that I really like, but everything was like not quite where I was sure it was going to be. So I was very meticulous in my pencil marks beforehand. So I do the corners first, then I get rid of everything else. I've marked out a mini calendar here and a tracker, which is actually unique for this month. It was my 2020 goal to run a half marathon. Not really a runner, but I try. So it was going to be a stretch goal for me. I had started it back in last October. Thanks to the disease of the Rona, they changed it to a virtual event and they changed it to a 100-mile group team challenge. So we had 10 days. My group is just the people I had convinced to do the half marathon with me. I convinced them to do this as well, and we had 10 days for 5 of us to run 100 miles. So it's 20 miles each, and so I put this together to keep track of the days that I was running and my mileage and my time. So we have date, distance, and time. So that'll be fun to fill out. I'm really excited to have a group activity, even if we're not all together. If you will see, I'm not sure if you can totally see that, but my calendar starts on a Monday. I start all my calendars on a Monday. I sometimes get a little confused, just because standard calendars always start on a Sunday, but I have been trying to change all my calendars in my life to start on Monday because that's how I like to organize my life. So right now, we are putting in this quote. And this is a quote that I really like, and I like doing quotes. I like doing weird quotes. I had one month where my quotes were all from Tina Belcher. That was probably one of my favorite months. But they're all inspirational, but also kind of weird. But I do like this one, and it is, a ship in harbor is safe. Or I guess a ship in port is safe. There's several different ways to say it. A ship in port is safe, but that is not what ships are for. It was not originally coined by, but was said a lot by Grace Hopper. She's a woman who was, at one point she was the oldest member of, I'm not sure if it was just the Navy or the military in general, but she's a pioneer of computer science. And she was actually around when they coined the phrase bugs, because bugs really did crawl into their computers. So a little fun history fact there for you. Now I do have some doodles around this cover page here. So we're going to draw in those. I thought about outlining some of these, but I really liked them just with the colors. They didn't need to pop any more than they did. I actually thought about outlining a lot of things, including all of the boxes and the drop shadows, and you will see later why I am very happy that I did not. So I've got like a little spyglass up in the corner there. I'm working on little port hole, the ocean that you can see out of it. And I really, really liked these colors. I'm not normally like a brown, I don't like brown very much. I like more jewel tones and things like that. But I really did like how a lot of this came out, and it was nice to be able to use brown, because brown's in there's a lot of little things that are wooden or like in trees and that kind of stuff. So I like all these little doodles. These are actually inspired by another person. I will put her information down in the doobly-doo. Because she did a theme that was very similar to this, had all these little doodles. She did it back in August, and I was like, oh, I was looking for something that was going to be a little bit different color palette, and this really matched up with what I wanted to do. So we got an anchor and a little wheel, and we're just doing some more doodles. This is the page probably with the most doodles. I usually, especially because I have a page limit here, I usually use up a lot of my pages with the actual functional part of my spreads. But I do like having a cover page. It usually doesn't have a tracker on it. Usually I just do the name of the month and do some sort of, I don't know, artistic expression. It's usually a little bit more bare. But I'm very excited that I have this tracker. And you will see here, one of the things I really like to do are these little lines, and I've done them in several different ways throughout this bullet journal, which I'm hoping to share more with you guys, because I do like some of my old spreads, especially this year. I've incorporated a lot of these mild liners. They're really pretty, and I really like the flexibility that they've been able to give me. But sometimes I'll do these lines every other in one color. I've done them every different color, but every single line. So I think this was the first time I've done different colors, but skipping a line. There's a lot of options there. So we're back to some erasing. And we've got, this is my financial spread. This is the entire reason I do a bullet journal, is because I like to keep track of my finances. And I started this in 2017 to get my life in order, basically. And so what I do every month is this spread is the start and end of all of my accounts. And I know I have a lot of accounts, but they all have a reason, and I'm very detail oriented, so this is fun to me, which is weird. I know, I am very aware. But keeping track of this stuff like this is relaxing. It's it keeps me engaged with the world. So this little box at the top, this will be the difference in the accounts that I have here. The accounts I include here are not, I don't have any retirement accounts. It's basically, this is my, so I do have some savings accounts included in this. So there are some long-term savings, there's some emergency savings and stuff like that. But it's a lot of my credit cards and my checking account, and I do have a savings account where I keep some long-term recurring savings. Now I also keep track of this in an app, so which I can talk about more later. So I do enter a lot of things in multiple times, as you will see, but I like that it keeps me on track. So this top here is the difference of all of my accounts. I keep track in this section of my assets, which is like my checking account, my savings account. So we have the start, the end, and then the difference. And then the second are what I call my debts. This is all my credit cards. I pay them off every month, but I like to keep track of where they are. So it's the start of the month, the end of the month, and then the difference. And then, so those two larger top boxes, I take the difference between all of my accounts. So what was the collective change? And that will go in the top right-hand box. Now down in this last box, I like to keep track of my spending, which is sort of my general budget is what I call it, but it's basically anything besides rent that I pay money for. So I have a certain amount that I, throw into retirement or savings or something like that, and that's not included in that. This is what I'm expecting to pay out this month. And it can include, my normal spending, but it could also be like, oh, I have a wedding to go this month, or, all those weddings we're going to this year. And then I also like to keep track of my hours. So I am hourly paid, but it is, we're a consulting firm, so it's basically anything I can charge to the client, I will get paid for. It's actually really flexible, really nice. I enjoy it a lot. And what I'm drawing right now is a little treasure map. I actually looked up how to draw something like that, which I will actually link that video because it was very helpful. It showed a lot of ways to draw paper, which is very funny that we're drawing paper on paper, but it had how to draw a map. And so it's essentially this little accordion style here, And we're gonna put some like a little lake and some trees. They're blue trees because I didn't really want to put green on all this, but you know, go past the blue treed forest. That's pretty pirate mappy. And then we've got some standing rocks and a little cave, and it was very cute. I liked sketching this thing out because it was something I wasn't sure what I was going to do in this big space there. Sometimes I'll write the month name, and then we're gonna do a little dot to the X, and we have our little guy, and here are the folds in the paper. So essentially, you're throwing down where the paper folds, which I did this in gray. You see me hesitate here because I messed up and I put one too many lines on the bottom part. And so I'm just gonna make a little triangle and everything's fine. Don't even worry about it. We're gonna throw in some of these lines and they look really good, and I hadn't decided this before now, but I liked the way starting with the yellow looked. So I made up a rule right on the spot, right here, that I always start everything with the yellow. I think it was also because it made it pop really well. I do like this blue and yellow combo here. It's very pretty. Now, I don't like how that looked, and I was very surprised because I wanted to leave it that way, but we're gonna throw some highlighted lines there, and that looks better, right? I like it. So now we're gonna start on the next spread, which usually I go for my big calendar here, but I was ready for an easy spread. So this spread is basically my trackers for my money and my hours. So this is basically taking that last little box on the bottom of the last page and keeping track of what's going to go into that. So we're going to start with the corners. We're going to do a lot of erasing and a lot of bending of the paper. Thank God for my eraser. And I have messed up that corner. Look at that. Beautiful. You know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to work. And I still like it enough and still like the organization of it enough, even with the wrinkled corners, to go in every day and fill this in. So we're going to put in our little drop shadow. Now, I made the rule that all the drop shadows were going to be the gray. And on this left page here, this is going to be where I track my spending, or basically any money moves that I make. So if I transfer from one account to another, like I pay a credit card or I put something in my long-term savings, we're going to put in that information. So it goes date, account amount, total, description, and then budget. And then on the right side here, we've got date, hours, total, income, and increase. I keep track of the hours I work every day, total that up, and our company's really small, so I do our payroll as well. So I can figure out exactly how much taxes are going to be taken out. Also used to be a tax preparer, so that's fun. I actually used to keep track of all of these, sort of intermingled per day, but I found taking them out and giving them their own separate spreads really saves on space, which is a priority for the rest of this year. I also like that they're all kind of, you can total them all right here. It's a little bit easier to keep track of it all. This color is so much fun. I love throwing out these big rainbow lines like this. So I think about this side of the page. When I transfer money, I don't count that toward the budget column. The budget column is anything that's going out that I'm actually spending money on. And I don't count my rent in that because that's not something I can change. Well, currently. I could change it, but it's not going to change for a while. And this second page went so much faster, which was really nice. And it just looks so pretty and was so simple. And now we're moving on to the calendar. Get ready. There's going to be a lot of erasing going on. So I like to do a full spread calendar. I've done, and actually even this year, I've done the basic Rider Carol, just the straight number 1 to 31 on your page, and I do like having a full spread to see where the weeks are. So I mostly will do this way of laying it out, and this one also starts on a Monday. So right now I am erasing all the corners because we're just going to do all the corners, and I'm only erasing them for the weekdays because I'm going to do some color coding on this. So we are doing, these are these little boxes on the side. So I've got a goals box up top. I've got a now and later, and I like to do now and later. So I like to put, so I have a lot of bills that if they have an actual date, I'll put them on the date. But if there's something I just know I'm going to end up spending X amount of money for so-and-so, but not necessarily all on a certain date, I will put that in the now box. And then for the later box, it will be anything I'm planning on paying for next month. A lot of times I will get my electric bill like on the 27th. It's not due until like the 19th of next month. I always end up paying it like on the 1st. So I'll put that in this box. So these general boxes are going to be in the brown. And we're gonna write our titles with the fonts, goals, and now and later. Ever more erasing. And then we're going to put in some of these colored lines so we can have this in list format. I actually have been using the actual bullets that the bullet journal name comes from, with X's and my grade and schedule and all that stuff. I don't usually do that, but I have been for the past, I think, 3 months. Just go back to basics, you know. So now for the calendar, I'm doing the weekdays in this blue, and then Saturday we'll have the light blue. Sunday we'll have the yellow for the sun. And then all of these boxes will have their own drop shadow in the gray. So this is why I was very glad that I did not outline everything in the black fine liner as well, because woof, that would have been terrible. So I'm actually going back to erasing, and we're only going to go to Friday so I know where to stop. It's definitely, I'll plan everything out, I'll have a plan, and then I'll go too far with something, or I won't skip, you know, a line or something like that. So actually having it written out in pencil beforehand and then doing this very deliberate erasing of only what I want to fill in is very helpful. So here we go with the rest of the weekdays. You can see some of my head there. Hello. So we're concentrating very hard. And we're filling in that Friday. We have a big erase. I think I'm getting tired at this point. There's been a lot of erasing. Using my muscles. But it's gonna look so good. And I don't think I messed up any of the spacing, which is what I was really worried about with these drop shadows. Like, I knew they're gonna look cool. I have a lot to put in my big calendar. That's why these boxes are so small. But I like having them set up in this way. It helps with the visual aspect of it. I know, especially just timing wise, this month was very extra. A lot of times I'll put together a spread that like looks fancy, but didn't take me that long. But stuff like this where you actually separate every single day out it's a lot. I know it's a lot, but it also just like this whole process is very calming to me and very like just very fun. So now we're gonna put drop shadows on everything. And I'm not super precise with this because this is very much just like throwing the pen down. Which is so funny that I was trying to be so precise with the spacing, and then writing actually what I wanted to write was not that big of a deal. All right, on to Saturday. I got this light blue little dog hair. Don't worry about it. Light blue is really nice. I wasn't sure how it was gonna go because I think the gray is like a little bit darker than it, and so having that as the drop shadow is kind of strange, but I like it in just this context with it being, okay, this is a different day. And then we move to Sundays, and those are in yellow because of the sun. I always find it hilarious when some of my like color coding makes weird logical sense to me in my head. So we're gonna erase the rest of these. Finish off the yellow and then throw the drop shadow on. And that will complete the tedious part of this video. And now we are going to go in and put Monday, well, M for Monday, and then T for Tuesday, and so on and so forth on all of these. Putting them in the drop shadow to give myself more space to write events and that sort of thing. Just because I've been using it for several weeks now. I can tell you that I have filled up some days, but a lot of them are pretty empty. I was able to fit like maybe like 3 events or bills or something like that. And then the numbers going vertically. So we've got a 1, 02, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07, 08, 09, 010. Oh no, oh wait. And I have messed up. So going in with the jelly roll. We're gonna try to fix that later. You may see me fixing it more later in this video, we'll see. Got a little paint pen, little Posca in there, and it's all over my hands. But you know what? It's fine. We all know what day the 10th of September is, so it'll all be good. And I got the rest of these right, so go me. Not dry at all. And now it's on my pen. So we're gonna put that on there. I'm gonna try to let that dry a little bit. It doesn't look perfect, but I'm not gonna cry about it. Now we're just gonna move on to the doodles that I had planned. A couple more of the ones that we've already done on the cover page, but maybe with like slightly different colors, or and some new ones actually. So we're doing a sailboat again, slightly different colors, like a different sail color. I think is this the porthole one? I think it is. Instead of a sun, we'll do a moon on this one. Just little variations. Keep the interest there. I really like these little doodles. They're very fun. I don't do a whole lot of art. I do more. I would say something very simple, you know, like a little embellishment or something. A lot of geometric stuff. There's a lot of like, okay, here's like a theme that I'm building on. Not a whole lot of actual drawing. So this was a fun little something to try out, you know. We got a little hook up here. And then next to it, a message in a bottle. Which I thought came out really cute, actually. Kind of a weird placement. Like, I wish I had, like, put it up a little bit, but, I don't know, what can you do? Sometimes you just gotta roll with it. This is actually one of my favorites. It's this compass. Looks really good. And I like that there was like one little spot because the first was on a Tuesday. Just give me like a little spot for a tiny little doodle. And never eat shredded wheat. Does anyone remember that? I think they still teach that, right? I'm not sure. Yeah, so now we're messing with the 10 again. It's fine. Don't worry about it, girl. I think my pen's not working. But it does look good. I like it. We got a cute little thing going on there. And now we're gonna fix up some things. I messed up this and this E. I made it a regular E. But now we're gonna throw my little tabby on it. I've got some washi tape tabs for each of the months. And I like to, match them with the color theme. So we're gonna put this on the side here, try to figure out where it starts. FYI, I definitely did this like at least 3 times before this take. That's fine, don't worry about it. It worked out in the end. And now I'm gonna go in with my white jelly roll and do some like little accents. A little SS here on the sailboat. Some waves. We're gonna throw that in the lake and on all the little porthole views. I think I was trying to put birds in the trees. A little handle for the spyglass. Highlighting the bottle. And putting some details on the compass. And then checking on that 10 again. But yeah, that's basically it. Things are probably not super dry, but they're cute. I will be able to work with them, and those are my monthly spreads that I have put together. For September of 2020. Thank you guys for stopping by.